In episode 2 of Frieren Season 2, 29 years after the passing of hero Himmel, Frieren and her party arrive at Fable Village. There, an elderly villager asks for their help in polishing a statue of a great hero. Curious about the reward, Frieren asks what she will receive in return and is offered a spell that can scratch one's itchy back. Delighted by such a practical spell, Frieren immediately accepts the request. As they head toward the statue, Frieren comments on how statues of hero Himmel seem to exist everywhere, while Stark adds that careful, detailed work like this can actually be enjoyable. When they reach the statue, Stark eagerly prepares to help, but Frieren casually notes that if the statue were made of bronze, magic alone could polish it, making Stark unnecessary. However, Stark is quickly surprised when he sees the statue's face. It depicts a stern, middle-aged man with a mustache. Frieren explains that this is not hero Himmel, but the hero of the South, and assumes this is the first time Frieren and Stark have heard of him. Frieren goes on to explain that many heroes once tried to defeat the Demon King, just as Himmel did, but the hero of the South stood above the rest as the strongest of mankind. Stark finds the title exaggerated, but Frieren insists it was well deserved. She recounts the era of the Seven Sages of Destruction, powerful demons who controlled key regions, especially in the northern countries. While Himmel's party managed to defeat only 2 of them and saw 2 others escape, it was the hero of the South who defeated the remaining 3 on his own. According to Frieren, the hero of the South's accomplishments were extraordinary. Within a single year, he wiped out the Demon King's frontline forces by himself and advanced all the way to the northern edge of the Northern Plateau, a vital supply route for the demon army. There, he was confronted by Schlack the Omniscient, the Demon King's closest confidant, who possessed the ability to see 1,000 years into the future, along with the remaining 7 sages. Despite facing impossible odds, the hero of the South defeated 3 of the sages and fought directly against Schlack. As Frieren tells this story, the party notices children nearby watching a puppet show that recounts the same legend. Frieren remarks that thanks to this battle, many surrounding regions were liberated from the 7 sages' control. Because the hero of the South's body was never found, many people believe he is still fighting Schlack somewhere even now. Frieren, however, quietly adds that he fought cannibalistic demons, and it is likely they devoured his body. Smiling faintly, Frieren begins polishing the statue, triggering a flashback from her past. In it, the hero of the South asks Frieren to join him, but she refuses, stating that she would never be able to defeat the Demon King. He accepts her refusal calmly, saying he already knew she would decline. When Frieren points out that he speaks as if he knows the future, the hero of the South confirms it, revealing that his true strength lies in his ability to foresee what is to come. Trusting Frieren completely, he asks her to keep this secret forever. The hero of the South then tells Frieren that within a year, he will be attacked by Schlack and the 7 sages at the Northern Plateau and will die there. He admits that he has already accepted his fate and knows he will never defeat the Demon King. However, he shares one final prophecy: Frieren will one day join the party of a young hero who will save the world. Frieren dismisses the idea as impossible, but the hero insists that this meeting will deeply change her life. Before leaving, the hero of the South asks Frieren to pass on a message to that future hero. He wants him to know that the strongest hero of mankind will carve a path forward for him, even if his own deeds are buried and forgotten by history. Frieren agrees to this request, and the flashback ends as Himmel approach her. Back in the present, Frieren's party finishes polishing the statue, leaving it shining brilliantly. The elderly villager rewards Frieren with the promised spell, and the villagers gather to admire the restored monument. Watching their admiration, Frieren reflects quietly that the hero of the South's prediction was not entirely correct. Though he believed his legacy would fade into obscurity, he is still remembered and honored by the people whose lives he saved. 29 years after hero Himmel's passing, Frieren and her party arrive in Graf domain. Stark remarks that it has been a long time since they visited a large town, but Frieren unusually mentions that they will be leaving soon after resupplying. Stark notices a magic shop, though Frieren shows no interest, reminding him that time is finite. Frieren senses something strange, noting that Frieren usually settles in big towns for months, making her current urgency feel out of character. Soon after, a butler approaches the group, having recognized Frieren, and invites them to an evening banquet hosted by Graf. Although Frieren attempts to decline, the butler insists, explaining that the Graf wishes to express gratitude for Frieren's role in the hero party that once saved the domain. That night, Frieren, and Stark dine with Graf. Graf quickly reveals the true purpose of the invitation: the family's heirloom sword has been stolen by a demon again. Frieren explains to Stark that a similar incident occurred during the Graf's great-grandfather's era, leading Stark to comment on how often the sword seems to get stolen. Frieren agrees to retrieve it, requesting a grimoire in return. A deal Graf readily accepts. As the party travels in pursuit of the demon, Frieren expresses her annoyance, revealing that the nobles of the northern region, especially Graf's family, have always been unreasonable. She recalls how the hero party was once threatened with imprisonment if they failed to recover the sword. Eventually, they found it atop the Schwer Mountains. Frieren explains that the sword attracts demons because it once belonged to a distinguished demon, making it especially alluring. Despite all this, Frieren still accepted the request, stating that refusing would betray Himmel's ideals, as he would never turn away someone in need. Their journey leads them to a ruined village, where they meet a cloaked woman claiming to be a wandering priest mourning the dead. She speaks of a demon with a sword that slaughtered countless villagers and guides them to a burial site. As she invites them to pray, Frieren suddenly attacks one of the graves, revealing it to be empty. She deduces that the absence of bodies means the woman herself is the demon. The demon reveals her sword and justifies her actions as necessary for survival, but Frieren counters that there is no need to consume humans. The battle ends swiftly, with Frieren destroying the demon using Zoltrak. A flashback follows, showing the hero party at the summit of the Schwer Mountains during a previous mission involving the same sword. Frieren complained about the cold and the troublesome request, but Himmel explained that such difficult tasks allowed them to save people and defeat demons. He stated that this was why he could never forsake those in need. Back in the present, Frieren's party prays at the burial site before returning the heirloom sword to Graf. The Graf thanks them for their efforts, and as the group leaves the town, Frieren happily notes that they obtained a nice grimoire. Fern assumes Frieren must be pleased, while Stark asks what kind of magic it contains. Frieren casually reveals that it is a spell that turns red apples into green ones. And that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.